to go when I want to stay. I keep pushing you further.
Titta så här. Lycka till!
Greetings, welcome to my channel. My name is Trix and I make content about spirituality, philosophy, personal growth and creativity. And I haven't done that intro for a long time. But in today's video, we are going to talk about fundies. Again, I have done one video about that and it was exhausting, but I will do it again for you. And please give your appreciation in the comments to my partner who made this wonderful background setup for me and for you. In today's video, we are going to debunk some mis and disinformation from fundies. I call them Christian takes, but they aren't really Christian takes. They are just bigotry, because I am a Christian pagan myself, and sorry about the cat. I have Christianity embedded into my religion, which is the Wiccan belief. I belong to the Trinitarian Wiccan tradition, and I have Christianity in my life. I believe in Jesus Christ, but I don't agree with these takes. So they aren't really Christian takes. They are just idiotic takes, to be quite frank with you. And let's dive into that. And also, this is an episode of Games and Musings, and I will play some games in the background while we are talking about this. So without further ado, let's get into it. I got this video idea because of other creators on YouTube, and like I said, I have created one video before talking about fundies, and I hate how they don't really love to be called fundies, but I will call them fundies because what are you? If the shoe fits, I guess. Anyway, the first thing I want to talk about regarding fundies is that they call everything demonic. It's really a popular word they want to use is demons and demonic, and everything is demonic. And sure, you do you, but when I really have a beef with that statement is when they call mental illness demons and demonic. And especially I have seen this for autism, and as an autistic person myself, I get really riled up when people spread this and misinformation about autism. No, we don't have demons. No, we are not more now than before. We are just better qualified to diagnose people. And it really gets me when people are cruel because of their beliefs. So that leads me into racism and fundamentalism, because in regards to demonic, I have heard so many people call yoga demonic and other religions, sacred symbols demonic, and that is plain racism. It's nothing else. That's racism. As a person who have heritage from India, I hate when people call yoga demonic. I'm not an Hindu. I don't follow Hinduism, but it really infuriates me when people talk shit about India and the culture and other, of course, all cultures. It's racist. It's if we are talking shit about, Christianity, then everybody gets offended, but they can talk about other religions, and that is apparently fine. And another thing that infuriates me is when Christianity try to take away rights from other people because of Christianity and try to infiltrate the laws. And I mean, if Muslims were to do that, if Islam were to take over, then everybody should scream. And that's their right. That's in their full right, because no law should be based on religion. And I say this as a religious person myself. I think all laws should be secular, because we need to have some neutral, like, it needs to be neutral. It can't be based on something subjective. And I think religion is very much up to interpretation. Just look at all the different sects of Christianity. I mean, if you can't come up with an interpretation of a holy text that everybody can agree with, then it's inherently subjective. To me, it's pure narcissism, or at least narcissistic behavior, to think that your religion is above everybody else and their religions or lack thereof. I think that is narcissistic behavior. I don't mean to diagnose anyone, but the behavior, I think, is very concerning. And speaking about concerning behavior, I think that so many Christians, at least online, at least the influencers we see that are outspoken about their Christianity, they are part of a group that marginalize people, especially the LGBTQ plus community, and they call us all pagans, as if pagan is a negative thing. I mean, I am a pagan, I'm Christian pagan, sorry, not sorry, but you're the villains here. I mean, no villain will ever admit that they are in fact the bad guy, but these evangelical Christians are the bad guys, because all they do is that they want to take over the world, and isn't that always what the bad guys want to do in like movies? It's quite ridiculous that you are like the bad guy in a movie, except for that this is the real world. So then it gets dangerous, then it gets really scary when you think about it in that way. If you got this far into the video, I just want to tell you about my website. You can find merch, my blog posts, my digital products, my memberships, and everything you might want to see there. I also have free membership to check out if you want to. And also I have a newsletter called The Multi-Creative Late Bloomer, and you can see the links in the description or on the screen to access both of those. And now back to the video. One thing that made me leave traditional Christianity is that I don't believe in evangelizing. I don't believe in converting people to the religion. And one thing that really bothers me is when people try to evangelize to people who vocally say, that's the same thing, but who vocally express that they don't want to be converted, they don't want to follow along, they don't want to be evangelized to. That's so disrespectful. I don't think Jesus would talk to people who don't want to listen. I don't think that's Christ-like. I don't agree with that. And the funny thing is that I have a story, a little short, tiny story about this. Actually, me and my partner, I got a phone call from Jehovah's Witnesses, and I immediately said that no thanks, I'm sitting here with my girlfriend and we are not interested in what you have to offer. And that was only to scare him, that was only for him to never contact me again. because my quote girlfriend is actually trans and he is a trans man. So, but I said that with permission because he's AFAB, assigned female at birth, and I said that just to scare this Jehovah's Witness away from us. And I mean, I didn't lie. I am queer. I I am queer. I am bisexual. Or pansexual. It depends on the terms what you want to use. I see myself as both bisexual and pansexual because I agree with both definitions. Anyway, I say queer because it's easier that way. So yeah, that was one big part of me leaving traditional Christianity and convert to the Trinitarian Wiccan tradition. Because if I'm going to talk about myself here, I do believe in Jesus Christ, but not in the traditional sense. I won't go into what Trinitarian Wicca is in this video. Tell me in the comments if you want a video about that. I could definitely make a video about that, and I probably will regardless. But evangelizing isn't a part of my religion at all. Maybe the most annoying Christian take, or the take that some Christians have, is that homosexuality is a choice. Being LGBTQ plus is a choice. I hate that take because since when is not religion a choice? I mean, we are born and we are not inherently a religion. We don't believe automatically. We are taught a religion. So isn't religion a choice then? If homosexuality is a choice, which it's not, then religion is a choice as well. So why is some choices better than others? Please explain. You're not born Christian, but you are, however, born gay or trans or bisexual or anything on the LGBTQ plus spectrum. You are born that way. You simply are. But you are not born Christian. And if you want to believe that being LGBTQ plus is a choice, then your religion and your opinions are choices as well. So please make it make sense. I spoke about this a little bit in my previous video about fun days, and that is that they are pro-life, or what I prefer to call it, pro-birth, because it has nothing to do with life, because they don't consider the life of the person who carrying the embryo or the fetus. They don't recognize her or they as a alive, because then they wouldn't have that opinion. If the person who carries the fetus were alive, if they considered them alive, then it wouldn't be a question about if abortion should be legal. Then it should be legal everywhere. So that's because we as humans dehumanizes women and people who can become pregnant. So I prefer to call them pro-birth because that is more accurate to what they are. So pro-birth people are a big part of Christianity nowadays, unfortunately, because they intertwine politics and theology, and I can't for my life understand why, because I think they are two very separate things. I have the political beliefs. I have, of course, they are intertwined with my spiritual beliefs. They are my beliefs. All of the things are my beliefs. But it's so interesting how we can end up on the opposite sides when we're reading the Bible. Because I study what I study, which is theology and philosophy, I know quite a lot about the Bible. And I don't know if you realize this, but Mary got a choice. Mary got asked if she wanted to become the mother of Jesus. God didn't just magically made her pregnant without asking her first. If that's not a recognition, a biblical recognition of choice when it comes to pregnancy, then I don't know what is. And just the fact that so many Christians see women or people that can become pregnant as just incubators and baby baking machines, it makes me furious. I mean, they don't consider even the health of the person, the mental well-being or the physical well-being. They are literally so pro-life that they are pro-death. And that takes me to how fundamentalists treat women in general. I mean, the whole women shall submit thing. I mean, are you guys okay? I don't think so. I don't think you are okay. I mean, you are not clearly not okay. That's a very sick and twisted thing to take from the Bible. I mean, I have read Proverbs 31 many times, and I always get a little bit stuck on the passage or the verse that says, and she makes her arms strong, and also she buys a field and is an entrepreneur. I mean, I get stuck on those verses because I agree with them, because how is that submitting? How is that submitting in any way, shape or form? I mean, you're not okay. Also, the Bible uses feminine pronouns when talking about wisdom. How is that submitting? How is that women are second class? If you're reading Proverbs, especially, but also other verses in everywhere when they talk about wisdom, they always uses feminine pronouns because wisdom is considered feminine, or from, in my religion, the Wiccan tradition, the Christian Wiccan tradition, wisdom comes from, of course, the Greek Sophia, which is translated to wisdom in English. And Sophia was a goddess, and of course I interpret that a little bit differently than other Christ following people. But still, in our Bible, our universal Bible, regardless of if you're a Trinitarian Wiccan or if you are a Christian, the pronouns are feminine for for wisdom lessons, for wisdom things in the Bible. How is that submitting? American fundies like to pretend that their English worldview is the entire world's worldview. I mean, I have an excellent example of how wrong they are, because in the Swedish standard version of the Bible, God used she, her pronouns when talking about the creation of human beings. And in the English ESV version, which is the Bible I have, ESV, then they have the pronouns he, him for the creation of human beings. So why is it that the Swedish version have she, her pronouns for the creation of humans? and English has he, him. I mean, it doesn't matter in the end because humans are both he, him, and she, her, and they, them. Both, I mean, all of the pronouns. But taking things literally is never the way to read the Bible, is what I'm meaning to say. So, what I want to say by all of this is that norms in society and culture sometimes and most of the time infiltrates religion, like all religions, even Christianity. And like, it's nothing wrong with that, but the wrong thing becomes more obvious when you're trying to apply that on everyone and on the entire world, and you can't see beside your own norms and your own culture and how that impacts your religion, because Christianity in Sweden is widely different from American Christianity. And I mean, as a multi-ethnic, that's the word, a multi-ethnic person, I can see it from many sides. I have heritage from India and Portugal, I have heritage from Sweden, and I see how it is in America right now. And I mean, it's all different. It's very different from country to country. And I can't really get over how extreme some people are. I know some are extreme in my country as well. And that's just bad no matter what. But I see more so in America. I don't know why. I don't know why you guys are so out of touch when it comes to certain things. I don't know. I don't mean to be hateful to America, of course not. I'm just critical of American fundies, or not just American fundies, but all fundies all over the world and all extreme people all over the world. It's not just America. But fundies, nonetheless, they are here in Sweden as well, and I don't like them either. So it's not an attack on anyone, it's just a critical video about fundies all over the place. I think I am finished here, and with all of that said, I want to wish you a great day or night, whatever it is for you, where you are. And I want to ask you to be a little bit kinder to people around you and more compassionate and empathetic to people. Try to understand other perspectives before you judge, and it's not that hard to be kind. It doesn't cost you anything. So with all of that said, I wish you a wonderful continuation of your day or night, and I see you in my next video.
Nu ska vi se, vad ser man?
Jag gör lite bloopers.
Titta söt. Titta. Pluttebebis.
Det pluttebebis syns.
Pluttebebis?
Det syns ju inte ens.
Ställer någon där?
Ja.
Nice.
Oj,
Den bakgrunden gillar jag.
Den bakgrunden blir bra.
Jag är inte ens bädda. Nami, vart är du? Här, kan du vara med?
Hon gömde sig. Nej, vad snäll.
Katt.
Stopp.
Katt.
Hon bara, vad är det?
Lamla.
Ramlade.
Lamla.
Ja.
Lycka till!
Tack! Jag har inte fixat mitt hår. Jag kanske ska fixa mitt hår först. Jag får fixa detta på något sätt.
Du är fin hela tiden.
Nej.
Jo.
Nej. Varför kan jag inte bara rakt hår? Varför måste jag ha så här flufffår?
För att det är ditt hår och det är fint som det är.
Jag vet inte vad fint det är!
Jag älskar ditt hår!
Och de är bara liksom...
De är bara, vad är det som
Vad är det som händer?
Vad har jag gjort för att förtjäna detta?
Vad gör hon?
An odd kitty.
Yeah, I did.
But we love you.
Ja, vi du.
Okej, I go do laundry.
Ja!
Men nu är jag inte borta jättelänge, bara så du inte blir...
Du gör som då vi sparkar på väggen.
Ja, men verkligen.
Bye.